Hello and welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, JT, and you're watching Black Box Trading. Yes. Look at this. Who is calling me? 48261 +1. No sound. JT sound just went off. This. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think we're back now. I don't know what happened there, ladies and gentlemen. Deep apologies. This is why it's good to have dedicated equipment. I'm guessing it had something to do with the call. So I got a call. Totally fucked it up. I've disconnected. I'm not on Bluetooth there anymore. It is what it is. All right. Anyways, now that distraction's out of the way, let's take a look at the Wall Street cheat sheet. And this is why disbelief is so important. This belief is so important. So the way I look at a typical crypto cycle is it's in two phases. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I kind of break down every bull market into two phases. The first phase is the recovery from last cycle, but you don't have new market participants. And then the next phase, phase two, the phase that I believe we're entering into right now, is the new cohort cycle. So all of the new market participants, people who have never been in crypto before, anybody who's new is going to be coming in this next cycle. So why that's important for the Wall Street cheat sheet is you'll have an entire market cycle twice in a bull market, in a Bitcoin bull market. So we've already had disbelief. We've already had optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, complacency. We've had it all. The cycle is complete. And now we're getting ready to do it again because we do 2 per bull market. And disbelief is where we're at right now. We're right at the beginning of the next phase of the market cycle where we're going to go into, optimism, belief, thrill, and euphoria. So definitely really excited to see the sentiment out there is so negative. Volumes are really low. Views on my YouTube channel are really low. Views on the daily high are really low. There's a lot of metrics that show a lack of interest. Open interest is really low. There's just so many things you can point to that shows that the market doesn't give a shit. And Bitcoin is climbing, man. Bitcoin is climbing higher in the background and nobody cares. Or if they are watching it, they just don't believe. They've sold at 74 and they're like, it's a dead cat bounce. It's going to head back down to 60 or 50. And no, it's going up to 160, 150 before it slows down again. All right, let's briefly catch up with the chat, and then we'll go into some of these targets here. Chat's really lively today, which is nice to see. So let me guys know what you want to take a look at. We're monitoring the situation in altcoins. I don't think we're there yet, but we can certainly take a look at some of the projects that you're interested in. So spam the tickers down below and we can take a look. Okay, just a bunch of comments about the sound. Okay, heard you briefly. Yeah, all right, cool. Just all sound stuff. That's why it's so lively. All right, so taking a look at Bitcoin. I mean, this is a bull flag, ladies and gentlemen. This is a bull flag. And it's about to break in the next couple days, if not today. We could have a weekend pump. Is very, very likely, in my opinion. So we're looking at this flag formation. There's the pole. And there's the flag. And we are ready to break out. Honestly, I think, it's possible we could come down for one more touch, but I really don't think that that's going to happen. I think that, we're going into the weekend. We're in illiquidity. We're just going to see demand take over as people talk to each other on the weekend and just head off to higher levels. Now, what would be the target for what we're looking for here? I'm anticipating a move, at least a move up to 120. So when we move this to the top of the bull flag, we're looking at 117, 120 would be the psychological level. And then beyond that, any pullback's going to be pretty shallow. We're getting at the overextended targets at that point. I think that just shy of 150 would be, 120, great. I think that at this point is quite likely, but we will still impulse higher than that, in my opinion, and we'll land somewhere around 125 on the conservative target to 150 on the extended. I really don't see us going past 150 in the short term. Like this move will need some sort of a consolidation, some sort of a pullback. We haven't really had a pullback yet, which is why a lot of people are getting angry. Like we just impulse up, consolidate in a tight range, impulse up, consolidate in a tight range. I think we're going to impulse up again, get some sort of small short consolidation. We'll impulse up to like 120, get some sort of a small consolidation. People will think that it's top, and then we'll impulse one more time, and that's when a correction will come in. And then you'll get some sideways trading environment, rebuild a base before heading up to higher levels later on in the year. So that is what I am anticipating for the price of Bitcoin. And yeah, let's go down to the 4 hour and see what we can see. We have got a nice little, not really, we're trying to break back above the line of control at 57. 57 on the RSI is kind of that support / resistance area. If you take a look at the RSI here, you can see what I'm talking about. Resistance, support. support, resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support, support. It's a very important level, and usually when it's breached, you'll get a big move. So you can see where we're consolidating above it. We finally breached above it, and then we had a nice rally. We consolidated below it. We finally breached above it. Not so much of a rally. We consolidated below it. We breached above it. Massive rally. Consolidating below it, all we need is a breach above it, and we'll get another impulse to the upside. So continuation is what I am counting on. Continuation. And yeah, for those in the group, we had a couple call outs. We had a couple trade setups. We're currently all long and strong. And yeah, just things are looking good, man. Like, I don't know what to say. The thing is, like, when things are looking good, you're in. So, like, I'm not going to give you a trade setup because you should already be in. You should be in at much lower levels. And we've been way, way lower than this. But with your futures positions, like, just any dip, any tiny little dip, buy with your, if you're going to trade futures, if you're going to trade leverage. If you're trading spot, like, brother, you should be in. You should be in. You should be in a while ago. There's still some upside. It's not the best upside. I mean, it's not as good as what we were calling down in the 80 level when we hit our 74K floor, but there's still upside. There's still upside. And if you're at spot, like, you should not be sidelined, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just some dude who's been trading Bitcoin for a very long time, and I understand how this asset moves. And we're not done. We're not done. Okay, can you give your input on gold BTC? You know, they just figured out how to synthesize gold, right? Gold to zero. BTC gold. Yeah, so when you look at Bitcoin against the gold price, it's certainly been doing a local outperformance, but it hasn't broken past all-time highs. It's up against resistance currently. It's a fun chart. Good recommendation. So we still have to break past all this. We got above it earlier. This was kind of the peak of phase one. Now we need to get back on top of it again. And honestly, we're going to. Like, gold doesn't move like Bitcoin moves. When Bitcoin moves, Bitcoin frickin' moves. So it's just going to head up to higher levels. We'll get up to 50 ounces per BTC in no time. And I think that Bitcoin overtakes the market cap of gold this cycle. You can do the math on that. You can do the math on that. I know it seems crazy, but guys, like, when Bitcoin moves, it moves. I'm telling you, like, people forget. It's wild how easily people forget how easy it is for Bitcoin to move. When Bitcoin moves, like, it's like 10 days of craziness. That's like, it moves in impulses. It spends most of the time trading sideways. And then it'll have a, like, holy shit, what happened day. And nobody can explain what happened. And they usually come up with some bullshit reasons as to why it happened. But, you know, it just has these massive volatile upside moves that come out of nowhere. Like, look at this 2-week move where it did, you know, 40% in gold terms. Going into up only, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this weekly candle too. The weekly looks fantastic. This is like ready for takeoff. Look at this. Right now it's a red doji. That'll end up being a green doji for sure. By the end of the weekend, this will be a green doji, maybe even a hammer candle, and setting the stage. Setting the stage. Acceleration is days, if not weeks away. All-time high is days, if not a week away. All-time high break. Do you think SUI can hit $30? I don't know. I don't look at SUI in dollars. I think it could reach its all-time high of 2,000 sats. So whatever that is, I think SUI can reach 2,000 sats. Don't know what that is in dollars. I'll leave that to you. I don't, I've said this many times. I don't give a shit about the number associated with any altcoin. All that I care about is it outperforming Bitcoin? I will not create an anchoring bias. I will not be like, oh, I hope Solana gets to, $1,000 or $500. Like, no, Solana is going to perform. Solana will enter into an environment where it is outperforming Bitcoin for a certain duration of time before it transitions to not outperforming Bitcoin. And during that point in time, I will have a higher altcoin exposure than a Bitcoin exposure. Higher, not higher than the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is always the majority of the portfolio, but altcoins will take a higher percentage of the portfolio, maybe instead of 5%, 10 or 20%. And then when Bitcoin's cycle is over, I don't care what the price is. I'm selling it. It's done. It's over. Altcoins all trade to zero against Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is done doing its thing, whatever the price of SUI is at that time will be the price that I sell. And it has nothing to do with price objectives. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals of SUI. I don't need to look at SUI ever. I don't need to enter the SUI community. I don't need to follow any SUI accounts on X. I don't need to do anything in regards to SUI at all, because all you got to do is pay attention to Bitcoin and the Bitcoin dominance and the Bitcoin comparative. And in the right context, alts do better. You don't need to follow jack shit. In fact, I would encourage you to not consume any content from any of the altcoins that you are exposing yourself to, because it's just going to cloud your judgment. So SUI will start to trend upwards. It'll break out of this channel. It'll start to trend upwards. And then at some point, the Bitcoin bull market will be over, and then we sell. That could be at 1,600 sats per SUI. It could be at 2,000 sats per SUI. It could be at 10,000 sats per SUI. It could be at 100,000 sats per SUI. We have no idea, but it's not important information. The important information is, what is Bitcoin doing? So, yes, anything's possible. Just don't make targets. I actually had this question. A lot of people talk about tether dominance, but if stablecoins get regulated and a lot of tether gets printed, isn't it possible that tether dominance rises as crypto moves up as well? Well, tether dominance is in relation to everything else. So, if tether is more adopted, if we start to see more and more tether usage, then tether dominance will rise. I don't personally watch tether dominance. I saw that was kind of a trending chart on Twitter over the last month or two. I started seeing it more and more. I don't do it. I just focus on Bitcoin dominance. You don't need to look at a million different things. When Bitcoin dominance is falling, we're in altcoin season. So I don't try to correlate altcoin season with tether dominance, especially considering that, as tether is adopted as a currency, because there's countries all over the world that just want to hold dollars. They just want something that isn't their local currency. Venezuela is a great example. People don't want to hold the Venezuelan bolivar. If they can get their hands on tether, they'll just hold tether, and that it gives me no information as to what the people intend to do with that tether. Some people just want to hold tether. So I don't have enough information based off of tether dominance. Bitcoin dominance, however, does tell me more, at least for me. I'm sure there's arguments that could be made. But for me, I think Bitcoin dominance tells me more of a story in regards to capital rotation than tether dominance does. Like I said, if you like to use tether dominance, if you find value in that, go for it. I just don't pay attention to it, and it's not something that I use. But again, like, there's a million ways. There's a bunch of different ways to skin a cat. That old saying, like, there's no one way to invest. In fact, the fact that there's so many different strategies in the market is what contributes to the market. That's how the market moves. Is everybody has a different theory. There's bulls, there's bears, there's pigs. Everybody has a different theory, and it's the collective agreements and counter opinions that create the liquidity and create the flow of the order books in the market. So yeah, to each their own. Whatever strategy works, that's the key thing. Try a couple different things, and when you find something that works, double down on it. Just double down on that thing that works. Don't have a bag of tricks. You don't need a bag of tricks in trading. Less is always more. Less is always more. Take a look at Hippo token. All right, let's just briefly talk about Bitcoin dominance. So a lot of people were starting to get a little eager here, saying that we were entering into altcoin season. I said, I need more convincing. I'm glad that I maintained that point of view, because it looks like we actually could bounce here. So the targets for Bitcoin dominance are still up into the 70% mark for me. Now, context is everything. I think this move in dominance will be correlated with a very bullish move in Bitcoin. So it's not always the case that green bars on Bitcoin dominance equates to altcoins going down. It has been the case for the entirety of this point so far. But I think this next move that I'm anticipating for Bitcoin dominance, where we go up to the 70% range, you're not going to see altcoins lose value. They're just going to lose their comparative value against Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's getting ready for a big move. I think Bitcoin's getting ready for a grab the world's attention kind of move. And that'll be like getting to 100K in less than a week. Or sorry, 150K in less than a week. Like some crazy move that out of nowhere, boom, we're just at a different level. In that context, the altcoins aren't going to do that. They're not going to be carried along as quickly. When Bitcoin moves fast, altcoins don't. Now, the end result of a move like that will grab the world's attention, will grab liquidity attention into the altcoin space. But again, I think we're going to see one big move here in Bitcoin dominance, and that's going to be the signal for me to start paying closer attention to rotation. I'm not ready to buy alts just yet. All right. We'll take a look at Hippo later, but really don't think it's a good time for memes. Some people, not me, say stock markets could be looking at a dead cat bounce, and seeing BTC is correlated with the stock market could make BTC go lower and gold go higher. No, I disagree. I don't think that this is a dead cat bounce. I think that the stock market is going to break new all-time highs and impulse to the upside. You're going to see money get cheap. You're going to see businesses be invested in. You're going to see capital injections. This is not a dead cat bounce. In my opinion, this is the beginning of, we're setting up for an all-time high break. I think S&P is going to break the all-time high. I think NASDAQ's going to break the all-time high. I think you're going to see sentiment shift more bullish. Everybody's so fucking bearish right now. That's the best way for the elites to steal your money, is make you afraid. It's the way the market works. When the news is making everybody afraid, when the news is pounding out information to make people afraid, markets dip. And the smart money, they almost do it on purpose. You can't help but have this conspiracy theory where you think that the elites, they're like, we're not really making much money. We need to figure out a way to make more money. Why don't we just, get the media to start spinning up a bunch of fear? I'm sure, obviously, there's legitimacy to the stories, but there's a method to how it's pushed and how narratives are formed. Get retail out of their positions, buy it all up, flip the narrative, flip the script, boom, you're making money again. So whatever the herd thinks is always wrong. So if a lot of people are saying that this is a dead cat bounce in the stock market, good. Let them keep thinking that. Let them keep saying that. That's exactly, that goes back to what we were saying here. Disbelief. It's disbelief. People don't think that we're going to break all-time highs. I'm sorry, but we are. Everybody thinks that the market's over. Everybody thinks that we're heading into a recession. Guess what? Recession never hits when everybody thinks it's going to do it. Period. End of story. It's not happening. We're going to all-time highs. We're entering into a fucking bull market. Phase 2, exciting phase of the bull market. So let them think that. That only adds fuel to the fire. Do you know any chance how many BTC is locked in time-locked contracts? Are those contracts visible on-chain? That's a really good question, and I don't have the answer to it. I do not know how many Bitcoins are time-locked. Can we buy this shirt somewhere? Yeah, you could go to the print shop in Bali that I had it made. I'm sure he still has the PDF. Nah, we're not doing drop shipping or any of that fiat bullshit. If you really, really want a shirt, DM me and I'll figure out something. I'll figure out a way to get you a shirt. But we don't do that fiat bullshit merch. And none of these drop shipping companies work with Bitcoin. We're a Bitcoin only company. Sats or die. It was just out of curiosity. I don't really count on it. What were you saying? Liquidated shorts? Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's. So now that we got the S&P and the NASDAQ, it's the same thing on the NASDAQ, just the S&P on leverage. And we got Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at SUI. SUI is still boring. Like I said, the rotation hasn't taken place yet. It has not taken place yet. Am I only streaming? What the hell is going on with my streaming software? Something ain't making sense. Something is fishy. All right, well, it's just not rendering properly. We got like, how many people watching? 23 people watching the live stream right now. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you like this content. It really does help us reach a wider audience. So if you support the channel, easiest way to support us is just hit the old like button. Yeah, so to answer your question, I don't know how to see how much BTC is in a time lock, but I'm sure there's some way to check that out. I just don't know how to do it. But it's an interesting question. I don't know how many people time lock, to be honest with you. It would be very, very niche. I'm sure there's some use cases for it, but it's a pretty niche thing. I've never time locked anything. SUI, we're neutral. We're not bullish. We're not bearish. We're neutral. If we can get a breakout, then maybe we'll make up our mind. But yeah, just neutral. How's ETH doing? The coin that shall not be named. ETH stalling. It'll probably come back down for a retest. So if you feel like you missed ETH, I really don't think that you did. I think we'll come back down for a retest here. It doesn't necessarily mean the price of ETH is falling, by the way. We're looking at the Bitcoin pair. It just means that Bitcoin needs to be performing really well. So going back to what I said, I'm anticipating a large move in Bitcoin where Bitcoin's pumping and nothing else is. That would bring the price. That would bring a retest here on ETH, and that would be a huge, huge signal to anybody who is fortunate enough to be bullish on ETH. That's your chance. That's your shot. You got to shoot your shot there. But overall, Ethereum's looking a lot better. It's looking a lot better now that it's given up all of its volume, all of its value, and sits at 2% of Bitcoin. BDCA token? BTCA token? What the fuck is that? All right. What was the other stupid thing we wanted to look at? Hippo token. Hippo token. What kind of garbage is that? It's a Sui meme coin. Yeah, it's just not altcoin season, man. It's just not altcoin season. You ain't gonna see shit. That's later on. That's later on. Later on in the cycle when everybody who got burned is ready to get burned again. Yeah, this has got more sideways in my opinion. It's got more sideways, but this is a perfect example. So guys, I can't stress this enough. Like if you're going to dabble in the shitcoin space, you need to have a certain skill set. You need to have a certain skill set that not a lot of people have. And it's funny because the noobs always go for the shittiest things. They just always do it. They go for the most garbage shit tokens possible because they don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're just like, oh, I saw a tweet, I'm gonna buy a Hippo token. I don't know your story. You might be an OG that's knows some insider information, but there's a couple things to watch out for. Exchange listings. Everybody is so bullish on exchange listings. Those are the worst things. That's like that's how you get out. That's your time to exit. So we're looking at this on Binance. Like as soon as it got listed on Binance, end of story, done, finito. Why does that happen? Why is it? I'm sure you're wondering, why is it that when a major exchange offers the trading pair, why does it always go down? Shouldn't it go up because it's now so easy for everybody to buy it? That's the logical assumption. But the reality is the whales in the project, the whales that are in the project can't sell. They can't sell. They can't sell without completely screwing over the price. They can't sell without destroying the project. They get stuck, and like they have millions and millions of dollars in paper gains that they can't do anything about. So what the exchange offers is liquidity, and it offers them hedging. If there's futures on this, especially, yeah, this is perpetuals contract. So that's case in point. This is exactly what you do not want to see. When you have a futures contract and I'm a whale and I'm trying to offload my position, what do? It's the day that the exchange lists, I go to the exchange. Let's say I have 1 million tokens. Okay, I have 1 million tokens. I'm going to short 1 million tokens. Now my price, I'm at the high, and it's locked in. If the price goes up, I don't make any money. If the price goes down, I don't lose any money. It's locked in. I have 1 million tokens in spot, and I have 1 million token short position. So I've neutralized the position. Now what I do is I can sell. I can finally sell. So I can sell down the position, and the short is making money. So I'm cashing out on the way down, and the short is making money. So I'm double dipping on the same thing. So exchange listings are the worst. If you want to know when to sell your coin, it's when Binance lists it. Whenever that is, that's the signal to get out. BDCA token. Is that a thing? It sounds scammy. BitDCA. God, this sounds scammy. Can't help. It's on the Binance scam chain. We are BitDCA. Save effortless. Oh, wow. Why is that so hard to say? Save effortlessly with Littlebit, our micro saving app that automatically converts small percentage of everyday car payments into Bitcoin. So it's a card. Cool. How does this token? Why do I need this token? You can buy BDCA on MEXC and PancakeSwap. By staking BDCA tokens, holders unlock the potential and benefits from the success of the Littlebit app and capitalize it on worldwide adoption and rapid growth. So you get a percentage of the transaction fees, but also Visa and MasterCard are getting transaction fees. Yeah, these are cool ideas. These are cool ideas, but we're just, the world isn't ready for like a real card. It's just not ready. I'm waiting for a real card to actually work. But, you know, effectively what you have here is a prepaid debit card with more fees. Because you got to pay Visa, you got to pay MasterCard, and you got to pay all the stakers of the token. Chart looks good, found it on TradingView. Okay, let's take a look at BitDCA. BDCA. Yeah, it's not a bad chart. To be fair, credit where credit is due. That's not bad at all, sir. Fundamentals aside, you know, we don't really care about the fundamentals. Fundamentals don't matter. The fundamentals are everything trades to zero against Bitcoin, but nobody cares about that. So the fundamentals don't matter. We're entering into phase 2. That's the silly zone. That's the banana zone where everybody goes bananas and prices go up in a banana shape. But yeah, no, that's a decent chart. That's a decent chart, not gonna lie. It looks healthy. It looks healthy. Looks like it's ready for an impulse. Not financial advice. I mean, you're talking about a really shitty liquid token here. I mean, it's freaking, what is it even? Where is it? Where is it ranked? 447. Could be worse. Market cap 115 million. Usually that's what you want to see in daily volume, not total market cap. But yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Not a bad technical setup there. Obviously, you got to mitigate risk through size. So don't go too heavy. Whatever you would be willing to lose on a stop loss on Bitcoin should be the entire position for something like this. BTC Turkish lira chart? Oh, come on. Who cares? Really? We'll just do hyperinflation comparisons. Turkish lira. All-time high break. Man, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that wild? That's what hyperinflation does. So this was the last cycle, right? This was the last cycle. Or no, this was the last cycle. Yeah, this was the last cycle, and it just kept on impulsing. This is a strange chart, actually. What the hell is going on? I need to see, I need to overlay it to fully grasp what's going on here. Let's try it again. How the heck? Oh, that's what I gotta do. New price scale. There we go. That's what we need. That's what we need. So look at this. Look at this comparison here. Get it close. Close enough. So this is what Bitcoin has done. And this is what the Turkish lira has done. Turkish lira is going through hyperinflation. Every country on the face of the planet will do this, all of them. No fiat currency is immune from this. They're all forced to do it. It's just a matter of how fast. So the US dollar will do this too. I mean, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. I know some people disagree with that, but those people are just looking too short term. Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against government malfeasance, and there isn't a government alive. There isn't a government on this fucking planet right now that is not printing currency. Because that's just the way the world works. It's you can't run a country without doing it. That's how systemically ingrained the situation is. So to not print money just means that you're not going to be competitive, and you will fall behind, and you might get attacked. Like, they literally have no choice but to print money. So this is a guarantee. This is a guaranteed outcome for Bitcoin holders. You will see this with any currency in any country that you are in. Eventually, the powers that be, the malfeasance of government, will catch up to the reality of what they're doing, the reality of debasement, and this will be the chart. So stack them sats, ladies and gentlemen. Stack them sats. All right. Walrus, liquidated short, wants to take a look at Walrus. That's a silly ticker. It's a couple Walrus. They're just going to go with Wall, I guess. It's on Sui. Wow, we got a lot of Sui fans in the chat here. Actually, was it liquidated shorts that asked to take a look at Sui? Sui. Who originally asked to take a look at Sui? Did anybody ask to look at Sui, or am I just imagining things now? It was more for the fun and giggles. I asked for the lira, but thanks. Yeah, no, it is cool. It's interesting, you know, because that's what we can expect. It doesn't matter where you are. That's what you can expect at some point. I mean, it's not great. That's not really what you want. That equates to a lot of pain and suffering for people. But at least, you know, it's not like you didn't try to help people. You've offered them the life raft. They just chose not to get on it. But it will suck. It will suck. It will not be, it's not pleasant. You know, it's still a bad thing. Wall. It's kind of hard to get a read on Wall. Doesn't have a ton of trading data. And I just think Wall's going to correct. I don't think Wall has the sustaining and the sustainability behind it. And I think that the market is working against memes right now. I think, you know, in a meme coin cycle, this thing would have been mooning, and it's not. So eventually, whatever hype it has is going to dry up, and it'll probably correct. You know, you got a bearish divergence here on the daily also taking place. I don't know. I just don't think this one is well timed. So as a result, I think, I don't know, by the way. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball. It's important to understand that. Traders don't know jack shit. Traders know how to strategize and how to mitigate and how to implement risk for gains. But traders are wrong all the time. Like, if I'm batting 70% average, I'm laughing. I'm making bank at 70%. I can make money at 50%. You don't need to be right all the time. So with that in mind, here's what I think. I think it'll correct down, and then it'll drop sideways for a while. These lines don't mean anything, by the way. It just represents going down. The levels that I'm at don't mean anything. And then altcoin season will kind of kick off at some point, and then it'll carry forwards. But It's going to have to be the degenerate part of the altcoin season, because it's a degenerate token. It's a meme. It's meaningless. It's completely meaningless. So, you know, you need to trick that cohort of individuals who don't care about fundamentals. You got to trick them again into getting into useless, baseless shit. No, but I love using Sui. It uses, I use it every day. A lot of early 2021 Solana vibes. I agree with that. I tried dozens of layer ones, and this one is great. Yeah, I mean, functionality for sure. Functionality for sure. Ultimately, the best layer one, though, is Bitcoin. Because that's the value layer. That's the settlement layer. When it comes to value and settlement, you want security and incorruptibility, not execution. Sonic's definitely on my watch list, but Sui's good too. Sui I'm watching, obviously, it's on my watch list, but I'm getting real Solana vibes from Sonic. Let's take a look at a Sonic app. Sonic. Yeah, this has some Solana vibes to it. Also some Ethereum vibes, actually, more of the light mode type thing. Airdrop. Airdrops are good. People like airdrops. By the way, if you guys haven't already done so, come check out blackbox.pro. Go to BLKBöX.pro. That gives you free access into our trading Discord server. Come hang out. We're sharing all of our trade setups, our entries, exits, take profits, new token calls, which we haven't done in a while because it hasn't been appropriate. We try to keep you on track with what's appropriate, what's happening in the market cycle. So there are going to be periods of time where things are really light. This is why, by the way, we decided to go with the free model. We wanted to make the group free. We needed a different way to monetize the group. And the free model is so good because I ran paid groups in the past. And the problem with a paid group is it doesn't have aligned incentives. If somebody is paying monthly for a service, especially a financial service, they expect to have opportunities every single month. The problem is that's not the way the world works. That's not the way the market works. There are lulls. There are multi-month lows where it's extremely difficult to make money, to the point at which somebody who is new should definitely just be hands off. This is why we like the model that we've done so far, because we get a commission based off of volume. We get a commission based off of how much your account grows. The larger your account grows, the larger the commissions grow, the more you make money, the more we make money. And it's aligned incentives. I don't want to have your account get liquidated, because if your account gets liquidated, I lose income. You're gone. You're probably going to take a multi-month break if your account gets liquidated. If I can grow your account, not only are you going to stay in the group, your commissions are going to grow and you become more of a valuable client to me. And going back to the free, like if you're in a Discord group for like 6 months and like there's no calls for 6 months and you're paying every month, you're like, fuck that. Like, what the hell am I doing paying X amount of dollars every month to get nothing? Like, nobody's making any calls. But I'm telling you, no position is a position, which is why I'm so happy with the free Discord model, because it takes away the pressure from me. Like, guys, like, we're not doing anything. You're not paying anything. You're not losing any money. It's time to just wait for the market conditions to go in your favor. And then when it's time, boom, we start hammering you, and it takes people off guard. It's like, holy shit, there's a post like multiple times a day. There's this coin, that coin. Like, it goes really, really fast when it's going. Right now is not that time, but we need to get ready for that time. So if you aren't already in the group, get into the group. learn Discord, figure out where the different channels are, figure out how we're communicating with you, so that when the market conditions arrive where we're bombarding you with information, you at least won't get overwhelmed by the application itself, and you won't get overwhelmed by the Discord server itself, the chat rooms themselves. So definitely get in and get ready, get familiar, ask questions, get set up with the bots, whatever. Because once it's full on, I feel sorry for anybody coming into the group at that point, especially if that person has never used Discord before. Their head's going to explode. Their head is going to explode. But anyways, yeah, blackbox.pro, BLKBöX.pro. Sign up free, get into the group for free. If anybody asks you for money, it's a scam. Don't send anybody money. We don't charge anything for anything. It's 100% free. Okay, I just want more Bitcoin, so I'm buying BTC with SUI profits that I make in DeFi and perps. Solid strategy. It's a crypto-related stock, if it matters. No, you don't like trading stocks. What did you ask me to? Oh, XEXOD stock. We can look. Just because I don't like trading, I won't trade stocks, full stop. Doesn't mean there's not opportunity in the stock market. I actually think that the stock market is this Exodus? No. Exodus movement? Just because I don't trade them doesn't mean that you shouldn't. I am a hardcore Bitcoiner, and part of being a hardcore Bitcoiner is privacy and pseudonymity and no paper trails. I don't fuck with US markets at all, and it's a choice. There's an abundance of opportunity. I would actually argue that there is the most opportunity currently right now today. The most opportunity exists inside of the US stock market because of the incoming mania phase that we are going to see in the stock markets with the Bitcoin treasury companies. But it's not for me. Won't touch it. It's all fiat denominated. I'm Bitcoin denominated. Yeah, this looks good. Nice long accumulation. And we had our sign of strength. Let's actually slap a trading range around this. Is that my parallel channel now? What happened to my parallel channel? It's not how I remember making my parallel channel, but that's okay. So, sign of strength, beautiful. It's what you want to see. Back up, beautiful. It's what you want to see. This area right here is where you're going to want to scoop stuff up. Oh. This area right here is where you're going to want to scoop stuff up. So anytime it comes down to this general area here between 23 and 32 bucks per share, that's the Goldilocks zone. That's where you want to be. This thing's just gearing up for a move up. 100%. Beautiful Wyckoff setup. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I don't know where this lays in relation to its sector. I don't know anything about this company. So your homework is to pull this up on a chart and figure out all of the companies that are doing this and do comparative analysis, because a sector often moves together. And what you need to identify is which company is the strongest in that sector. It might be Exodus, it might be something else, but you always choose the winner. You always choose the strongest one. Don't fall into the trap. Like, a lot of people see these assets that underperform and like, oh, well, it's just going to catch up to the others one day. No, fuck that. Buy strength, buy strong. Whatever is the strongest in that sector, buy that thing. That's the Wyckoff method. If you like the Wyckoff method, that is the Wyckoff method. The Wyckoff method is not just drawing a trading range and marking events on a chart. It's a method of selection of stocks, and part of the selecting process that a lot of people just negate is, what is the sector? Do all of your comparables, which asset is the strongest in that sector? That is the Wyckoff method. It's not the fucking trading range. It's the method of selection. So do that for sure. All right. What do we got here? Where are our winners today? 7%, TAP 6%. Let's see what TAP's doing. TAP, Hypermall just launched today, so you can download the Hypermall app for the TAP protocol. So a little bit of some bullish news. It's probably why it's on an up day today. For those who are wondering, what is TAP protocol? It's Bitcoin smart contracts. So Bitcoin can do everything Ethereum can do. Doge having a good day. Track, not so much. Track is getting close to, we're almost excited about Track. We're just under excited. We need to get above excited. So anything above 60 cents, we're at 50 cents, we need to get at 60 cents. Once we're at 60, then we'll be excited. What's whiff? Dog whiff hat. What's whiff? You know what whiff is. It's a degenerate meme coin. Thing about meme coins is they never last. Like, it is legal stealing. It's like, all you need is a marketing budget. If you are a project owner, do you guys remember what it was like back in, I mean, even 2021, but like the 2017 bull market with the ICOs? Man, those teams had to do a lot of work. They had to show all, like, you don't even need a white paper anymore. There's no fucking white papers. Like, these memes, they just spin it up on a meme coin generating app. They provide liquidity and they pay for marketing. That's it. That's the end of story. No white paper, no team, LinkedIn, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing. It's just do the scam, go market the scam. The more we market it, the more we can pump everybody's bags, because at the end of the day, it's just a game of musical chairs. And I don't know, does WIF have a new marketing budget? Is WIF going to reinvest in scamming people? I don't know. If you're in the WIF community, maybe you can answer that. But just know that these things, they're 100% marketing based. So if you have inside information that X project is going to put X $1 million towards marketing over a 6-month campaign, fantastic. Get in, ride the 6-month campaign. Once the campaign's over, you're done. It's out. Get out. Lights out. Over. Finito. But yeah. What do you think of basic swap DEX? It's great for XMR BTC swaps. Basic swap DEX. Let's take a look. Atomic swaps made easy. Looks good. Self-hosted. I like that. I like self-hosted stuff, especially when you're talking about atomic swaps. No trading fees, no account required. True cross-chain swaps. Distributed order book. Looks good, man. Looks good. Looks good. Oh, they even have a matrix channel? These guys, this is good shit. This is good shit. Anybody that is willing to deal with the friction of a matrix chat, these guys are legit. These guys, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. I don't know anything about it. I've never seen this before, but yeah, man. That's a good call. That's a good one for sure. Yeah, I was always just doing atomic swaps. I can't even remember what I was doing. XMR. It might not have been getmonero.org. Yeah. Where is it? Where was it? This? I don't even know. No. Anyways, that other one you sent, that looks clean. Just go with that. I can't remember what I did. Atomic wallet? No, that wasn't it. But yeah, there's a lot of atomic swaps out there now. So that's cool. More and more of this. I like atomic swaps. They're good. Nice call. Woney 45. All right, let's just wrap things up with a little recap of Bitcoin here. How we looking? And then we'll get out of here. All right, so Bitcoin looking good. We narrowly we got really close to a 4-hour bearish cross here with the 30 and the 50, but we got a bullish cross here with the 7 and the 30. So that's looking good. As long as we can stay on top of the 7, we will continue to climb higher. When we take a look at the daily, did we lose the 7? Are we below the 7? No, we're on top of the 7 again. So yeah, the 7 really is an important level, primarily on the daily, which is what we're looking at now, but it's also helpful on the 4-hour. But you know, it's going to lose the 7 a couple times on the 4-hour. You don't want to lose the 7 on the daily when you're in this type of environment, this up only environment. Like, you can see, like, we spent 1 day below it and then way on top of it. Then we had another day below it and that triggered the impulse. I don't think that we're going to do that on this consolidation. I don't think we're going to close any candles below it. So do watch out if we do close a candle below it. That might be an early sign that we shouldn't be as bullish as we are. But I think that we're going to hold this level, I think, in the next day or two. On today's daily candle, which has 6 hours left, or tomorrow's daily candle, we will likely be leaving this consolidation, in my opinion. Retesting the all-time highs. And guys, like, seriously, these all-time highs, no joke. The fact that we're consolidating down here, let's go to a better, clearer picture. This consolidation right here, this is not going to hold us back at all. There's nothing above us. Realistically, there's nothing above us. Let's actually turn on the VPVR just real quick so you can get a good visual as to what I'm talking about. Volume profile, visible range. Visible range, volume profile. There it is. Yeah, there's nothing. This is it. So here's the consolidation. Here's the price action. Well above the point of control. The point of control means the price at which the most amount of Bitcoin traded. And you can see these peaks. Each one of these peaks is a level to make note. So, you know, below the point of control, the highest supporting level is 96. We will stay above 96. If we lose 96, it's 87. If you lose 87, it's 84. But look at up here. Where's the most amount of volume? Where we are currently. We're digesting this area of supply. Once we get through it, literally nothing in our way. So once this breaks, if you're expecting resistance at the all-time high, there will not be any resistance at the all-time high. This is the all-time high break right now. If we break out of this bull flag, it will not slow down. It will just break beyond the all-time high. There will be no pause whatsoever. It'll just impulse to the next level, which will be at around 120. So that's what I'm seeing. That's the bullishness that I'm going to leave you on today. Thank you all for joining into the live stream. We're going to try and live stream every day. We're going to see. I am doing a lot of bouncing around right now, visiting family here. So there are other obligations, but I'm going to do my best to make these live streams as many days as I possibly can per week. So stay tuned if you guys aren't already subscribed. And until next time, please trade safe. It is jungle out there. Peace.